This is just the basic mechanics. Once again, it's how we started last week, it's how we started this week. My hands on the inside of the frame. Now, what we're going to do from here is, as Jamil feels my hands on the inside, he's going to swing his right hand to the opposite side of my leg and cup the back of my knee. So this makes it harder, if not impossible, for me to start to move through to my guard rescue or knee shield. So every time that I try from here, it's got the ability to keep my knee raised and turn me away. This is also the perfect opportunity for him to lift with his right hand, slide his right knee onto my belt line. So from here, slide his right knee. The thing about it is that it's turned me away, so it's harder for me to rescue. And the main thing I'm going to have a look at is the near arm. There's not much point in taking this arm because the elbow and the shoulders on the ground. So there's not much point trying to take, there's not much point going for the Kimura or the arm bar or or anything like that because it's on the wrong side. So again, what I'm going to do just to get the warm up is I've got my hands in the good positions, right? So as it feels me get my frame, his right hand swings under, and all he's doing is cupping underneath my hamstring close to my knee. Now, as I bridge, he just continues to raise my leg and upgrade from here to his knee on belly. Right. So because this guy got me on the side, once again, it's hard for him to attack this because the elbow and the shoulder are far further away from him. So he's generally going to have a look at this. The thing about it is if you grab my arm, I'm going to know what's coming. So what I'm going to do is going to do a pinch. He's going to grab his elbow and grab his elbow and pinch it to his hip. Nice, easy. He's going to slide his knee through to my chest and his foot under my armpit. Slides his knee. Oh, now, this is the hardest part. He's going to slide his right hip to the ground and squeeze his knees together. So slide his right hip to the ground, squeeze his knees together. Right, so from here, nice and tight. So my arm's kind of caught into the position from here. Right. The pinch on this is really important because you don't want me to be able to pull my arm out. Just this nice little pinch. What's that, babe?
Do you want me to come around to see the pinch?
It's okay, yeah. So again, from here, nice and slow motion. As I bridge, or before I bridge, he swings his right hand onto the opposite side. As I bridge from it, he's lifting my knee, which turns me to the side. He pinches his elbow and his hip together, slides his knee to my chest, right, slides his foot underneath my armpit in my motion. Now what I want to do is, I'm generally going to try and push him away. So he's going to try and put his right hip on the ground closest to my hip. So as I push away, and now squeeze his knees. Yeah, fall. So from here, the arm's caught. Now, because it's got the pinch, right, it makes it harder for me to start to get my arm out. As I start to move, I realise he's already got my leg. So I actually can't sit up because he's already got my leg attached to him from here. So as I start close, this is the perfect opportunity for him to bring his leg around my head and to play arm up. So the grip on the leg stops most of my steps, and you've set that up from the side control. So it's not like hunting for it later on, it's already set for it. The thing about it, right, is once you've got the knee right position, once you've got the pinch, I'm generally going to try and push back, so he's going with it, it's not fighting, but you need the knee squeeze of the knee. So as I'm going like, get off me, he just goes, okay, no, go. And I'm like that. So that's pretty much on already, like the arm bar's pretty much on. So whatever you guys, I see a lot of people now make guys like that try and hold the arm. The downfall is this is a huge asset for you. So you want it nice and tight. Right, so as I try and come up, just put this leg over my head, and the arm bar's down already. So that pinch on the elbow and the hip is the key factor to making this arm bar work. And when we're scooping the leg, originally was as a kind of counter move to stop them from recovering guard, and it's done from the switch base forwards, and it's designed to attack and isolate one arm, but it's called a low rider. So I have my side control. He has his frames on the inside from here, and I'm switch base forwards. What I want to do is, the hardest part on this one is, and people get confused on how we do this, is I want to make sure that my elbow's tight to his hip. A lot of time that we're here. So I'm going to purposely slide this to here, right? And I'm trying to get it so it's stiff as can. My thumb goes into the collar. As a general rule, my partner will now try and umpa and try and rescue. I bring my knee up and I isolate the arm. So the arm's already on, and it's a low ride, it's a heavy knee ride. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Hand goes straight in. And finish the choke. So normally on the knee ride we're coming across this way. Once I turn this out, it kind of opens up the ribs a little bit more, and it's hard for them to turn away from me, so it's easy to turn it. Of course, he's only got one hand. I normally hit the choke on this one. They'll generally try and rescue that arm, which is really hard to do. So they'll pop this arm up, and we'll have a look at the Kimura or the arm bar if they get any chance. So the deal is, I've got my normal switch face forwards. Some goes into the back, and this is the hardest part, as everyone concentrates here. I'm going to give him the opportunity to push his frame away. One, but see how I'm turning his hips? So I've got his hips turned towards me. My knee comes up, and I go low right, and it's quite heavy. My hand just goes straight in.
And you don't have to
So to make the choke work, is I just bring my right up over like that. I normally don't have to do this on this choke.
The one that, it's the that hurts. Last lead choke.
Yeah, still knows how to get off me. Okay, okay, come down. So this knee ride's a lot heavier knee ride because they can't frame up against the body. So normally on the knee ride, they've got their hand to push them away and interchange it. So from here, switch base, make sure I can see my thumb. Swing, then hips, come up, here. Hand goes in, and it's pretty much on straight away. So to get rid of the choke, right, is he'll just bring his hands in here, but the hand that he needs to get rid of the choke is actually pinned. So I just bring these together to finish. I can roll forwards, I can roll backwards. As a general, the way that I like to finish it, I'll baseball slide and I'll sit on the side. And that way I'm not losing position. So as he tries to turn the ball out, whichever way you want to go, choke, choke, turns the other way, choke, sits up, choke, stays there, choke. Yeah, so I like that slide forward. So I bring my knee up, get rid of it, set the choke up, sit backwards, that's a really solid choke. It's really hard to do because the hand that he needs to get rid of the frame is caught underneath my shin. Okay, I'm going to put the time on for 2 minutes, guys. One person doing this for 2 minutes, and then swap over. 1, 2, 3.
Wait.
So the same deal again, guys. So I'm switch base forwards. I put my thumb in, and I move to position. So the hand comes around, and I turn hips. Very, very important. So what I was trying to do last time is I was trying to bring this knee through, and I try to get this knee through, and here's my body's frame. So I'm like, no. So I just simply switch my knees, come back up. Right, just do exactly the same thing, so the knee switch. So if I'm here and I'm trying to drive my knee through to get rid of it, and I can't, I go 1, pin it, 2, then come up. So it's exactly the same thing again from here, come to this side, come through, choke. Now, once I'm in this position, right, think about it this way, is I'm going to cut his head off. So it's this hand cuts across the throat. What I'm seeing is people trying to lift the head up. Lifting the head up doesn't do you any good. I want it pinned to the ground, because if I lift up, the head can move left and right. Yeah, right? But if I try to hit it, now it moves left to right.
Oh no, it goes deeper.
Yeah, so I really want to keep that hand, pin the head to the ground from here. So here, side control, switch, can't do it from here. 1, 2, here, pin it. So now, from here, nice and easy, take my right knee over the shoulder and sit. Sorry. So I'll just jump and onto his throat. Now, I got taught to do this, was like a sacrifice roll. I got told to walk here, lift my partner up and to choke, which is okay. But what I'm trying to be is really nice here.
Go hard, it's funny.
What I got taught was, if I simply block him out with my shoulder and walk to north-south, it comes on just as much. So instead of trying to pull him up, because I just said, if I lift the head up, it's got far more motion. Yeah, exactly. Where if I kind of hold it down and I just start to walk around, yeah. It's going to be far more aggressive choke. It's harder to deal with. You know, so the key for me was keeping that top hand, that neck pinned to the ground, and then I can just walk around and cut the head off. You know, is everyone okay to try that? Okay, change partners. 1, 2, 3. It's okay, Shimon. It's a solid choke, man. Hey. When I first started playing around with it, it was to get the action and reaction, and it was more kind of like I'm playing the game. My thumb goes into the back of the club, but I get a really good tension on it. So I kind of bring my fingers in, so I've got a really good grip. I backstroke again with my right elbow, but from here. And now what I'm doing is I'm trying to take my head as far as I can to my hand, and I'm trying to step over at the same time. I try to take my head as far as I can to my hand, trying to step over at the same time. Right. So this was actually originally how I got taught to do a Kimura. A Kimura. So 1, 2, stretch. Drop as it goes to defend it, let go. And the Kimura's sitting right out in his face. It's really hard for him to defend the Kimura. So I originally got taught on how to set the arm up, I'll set the arm through the Kimura. The trouble was everyone tapped on the choke. So I never got to do the Kimura. The biggest thing, if the thumb is in the back of the neck, you're not going to get the choke. Because on that side of the neck, you will. To the stage where if I get on that side of the neck and I start to go belly down, I can almost choke my partner just with one arm. It's a solid choke. Where if I put it on the back of the neck and I do this, there's actually nothing at all. So it's that much, right? But it makes a huge difference. So once again, I put it where I can see it, I tension so I get a really good grip. I throw my hand, my elbow backwards, I start to go belly down. Belly down, throw my leg over, do the choke, pull it out, grab. Once I'm here, One, two, three. Let's go. Okay. So when we're here, thumb on the back side, make sure, okay, what I'm doing is, as I backstroke, I pull the head towards me as well. That creates an opportunity for me to step in. So when I step, it's my heel, and my heel should almost be touching. Now what I'm doing is I'm flicking my wrist forwards. And that's what puts the choke on, right? So I'm seeing some of you guys, your legs towards the head, they're going to flick it off. So once I'm here is, I get my grip, I tension, and I pull my partner. So it's actually quite, so now if I start to flick my wrist in, I get the pressure already. So as I'm doing that, people generally kind of go, look, I'll do the cutting arm bar because I want to get the hold of the elbow. So as I get hold of my elbow to try and do the cutting arm bar, that's when I step over, and that's makes it come on twice as bad because I've committed a hand. So anytime that they go for the cutting arm bar, I just step over. Second is, once I've stepped over, right, and I'm doing movement, as I go to the Kimura, I do two things. I pull my hand out, I torque the head so that the hand's here, so there's a lot of tension on the neck, so it's harder for him. Yeah, where it's here, right, exactly. So when I'm doing that, so once I've kind of gone, choke, no good, here, I'll go, torque the head, and that'll bring that to, and now, this is a simple mechanic. Don't step off. If anything, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll my top hand, you're right there, Jamil, slowly to the ground to make it come on. So I see a lot of people lifting, like do it the opposite way, so smash the head, go belly, and that's pretty much on right now. If he manages to straighten the arm to get out of it, right, okay. The key factor on this one is the switch. So look for the opposite side. So there's a fair bit that can happen on this process and going for the choke, but it's pulling him in, flicking the wrist, and making sure you've got that really good tension on both sides of the neck. Okay guys, line up, 1, 2, 3.